Hey, hey, hey. Happy Tuesday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Daily Dope is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Yes, I'm Jeff McAleer, back once again as your host here at The Daily Dope, presented by thegaminggang.com, which I happen to be the editor and founder of The Gaming Gang. In fact, we are exactly 2 weeks away from celebrating our 10th anniversary over at The Gaming Gang. Yeehaw! So yes, I am the Grand Poobah, and tonight is Tuesday, August 18th, 2020. This is episode 529 of The Daily Dope. So if this is the first time you've swung in to check out the show, let me point out, it's very, very casual. Just kicking it, talking about tabletop gaming. So I'll be bringing you the latest news on board games, card games, role-playing games, miniatures on occasion. Once in a while, we'll talk a little PC gaming and pop culture, but for the most part, it's all tabletop gaming around these here parts. Also, do want to mention, if you happen to like this video, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, don't forget, ring that notification bell. It'll let you know not only when the Daily Dope streams live, but it'll also tell you when I upload my other videos, such as today's review of Tiny Epic Mechs. Ta-da! So yes, so brand new review today. Yesterday I did my review for Mariposas from AEG. Very good, very cool. Really, really liked Mariposas a lot. But do also want to mention that when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Because this is a live stream, that also means that there is chat available through YouTube. So it's not on screen. I do want to point out, it's one of the ways that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay, but I do my best to pay attention to chat. So if you want to say howdy, or maybe you've got a question or a comment, by all means, please chime in and I will respond. So far we have Kabuki Kid as well as Ibrahim, who I believe Ibrahim is the first time visitor here. So Kabuki Kid says the video seems pretty bright. It shouldn't be. I mean, the shirt might be causing it to look pretty bright. And once again, it's really humid down here in the Duct Tape Studios. So that might have something to do with it. But if you'd like, I will pop up real quick. I can adjust this in just a second. I will be right back. Easy peasy. So Ibram says that they have actually been around a couple of times before. I apologize. Yeah, there's the people I see all the time, like Kabuki Kid. Yes, Kabuki Kid's like, I made him vacate for a moment. So that should probably cut down on the brightness just a touch, just a hair. I don't want to take the aperture. I don't want to change the aperture that much because I know most people have told me that they like the brighter look to the videos as opposed to when they're a bit darker. So there is that. Anyway, so I've got a good amount of news today, and then there's a couple of things I'm going to chat about a little bit, after we jump into the news. One of the things that I do want to mention, still messing around with the audio a little bit. So I'm still trying to get the audio to be a little more, just sound more natural. So I don't know. We'll see what's happening. All right, let's dive on into the news, because coming this October from Hall Games and Pegasus Spiele is Bonfire. And I've got the dope. The bonfires are sources of light, energy, and warmth created by the Guardians of Light in order to brighten the cities on the otherwise dark planet. The residents of the cities, however, took the bonfires for granted and exploited them for their personal gain. Disappointed, the Guardians of Light retreated and let the bonfires extinguish. The citizens could no longer live in the now dark cities and were forced to leave. You are a group of gnomes. Wait a second. Why do we have this popping up? Ay, for crying out loud. There we go. Back to just Pegasus Spiele. Anyway, you're a group of gnomes living close to the cities. And you also need the light of the bonfires. Gotta point out, this press information, this sell sheet info is not translated very well. It is a mess. So I'm trying to make do the best I can with this. Missing it now, obviously, as the bonfires, you try yourself to visit the cities and learn how to ignite the bonfires once again. You must visit the Guardians of Light on their holy islands and ask for tasks to prove your goodwill. For each completed task, they will reignite one extinguished bonfire. Whoever manages to earn the greatest trust from the Guardians and manages to brighten their city the most will win the game. Bonfire is diversified and ambitious, demanding sophisticated strategy as well as short-term adaptability. Renowned designer Stefan Feld has created an exciting and challenging game experience that offers a lot of variability with only a few available actions. Bonfire is for 1 to 4 players, ages 12 and up. It plays in about 70 to 100 minutes. And it's going to carry an MSRP of $49.99 when it arrives in October. Boy, we got a lot of pinky hair floating around here today. It's like all of a sudden on my nose, I'm like, hey, get that get out of here. Anyway, I know a lot of people out there are big Stefan Feld fans. This is his latest design. I know there are other people out there who are not big fans because his designs tend to have a lot of moving parts with them. But the way this comes across is that the players aren't going to have that many different actions to choose from. So I don't know. I have no idea. But it could be interesting, and it hits stores in October. Coming in the first quarter of 2021 will be a new print run of A War of Whispers, which is from Starling Games. Here's the dope. A War of Whispers is a competitive board game for 2 to 4 players. 5 mighty empires are at war for the world, but you are no mighty ruler. Instead, you play a secret society that is betting on the results of this war while pulling strings to rig the results and ensure their bets pay off. A War of Whispers is a game of deep strategy, hidden agendas, and shifting loyalties. You start the game with 5 loyalty tokens, each corresponding to one of the 5 different empires. Bet randomly on a loyalty value. Your primary goal is to ensure that when the game ends, the empires you are most loyal to control the most cities across the globe. Gameplay consists of turns broken down into 4 phases. Deploy agents phase. In player order, starting with the first player and proceeding clockwise, each player removes, then deploys agents to Empire Councils, to positions on the board marked Sheriff, Steward, Marshal, and Chancellor. Empire Turns phase. Each council position on each Empire Council will take an action. If a player has acquired cards, they may play them during this phase. Then we also have the cleanup phase, which strangely enough happens like the 3rd phase, not the 4th phase. It's usually the last one. So cleanup phase, add the turn marker to the next space on the turn tracker, then each player discards down to the hand limit of 5 cards. Then there's the swap phase. In player order, each player may swap 2 of their unrevealed loyalty tokens. If you choose to do so, you must reveal both of these swapped loyalty tokens. They remain revealed for the rest of the game. Gameplay repeats itself in this order 4 times. When the last space on the turn track is filled, game ends immediately and scoring commences. Player with the most points, based off their empire loyalties and the cities they control, wins. A War of Whispers is for 2 to 4 players, ages 14 and up, plays in around 30 to 60 minutes, and the new print run will carry an MSRP of $50. I've heard this is a pretty good game. This was kickstarted by Starling Games. There were a few copies that ended up in retail. They are all gone. And they have been gone for a while. So this new print run is going to be out. My understanding is first quarter of next year. So the earlier, the better, I would hope. So Kabuki Kid had pointed out that they can appreciate Stefan Feld designs, but they are not a Feld game fan. I have played 2, and I thought Forum Trajanum was decent. I think if I remember right, I think it was a little more complex for what it was, is how I kind of looked at it. So Kabuki Kid says, riding the polar bear makes me think of that Frazetta painting. Every time I see anything where they show somebody riding a white polar bear, I automatically think of the Golden Compass. Automatically. First thing that pops into my head every time is, oh yeah, it's just like out of, the Golden Compass. His Dark Materials. All right, moving right along. GMT Games has a new release that is shipping, or I believe it is still available. I don't think they're out of it yet. And it is the latest in the Battles, the American Revolution series. I've got the dope on the Battle of Rhode Island. The Battle of Rhode Island is volume 9 in GMT's Battles of the American Revolution series by designer Mark S. Miklos. The map board depicts the northern half of the island, including the fortified American positions around Butts Hill. There are 64 American, British, and Hessian combat units and leaders, giving the game a counter density comparable to Saratoga in the series. Although the tactical situation is somewhat straightforward, Americans retreating and British pursuing primarily up 2 main roads, the nuanced play and game texture is like that found in all the games of the BOAR series, or I guess we could say BOR, right? To ensure replayability, each player has a unique deck of 26 opportunity cards that either enhance his side or diminish the enemy. Cards are drawn at start and occasionally throughout play as governed by the turn track. There are also mechanisms for card draw tied to accumulated casualties or the possession of terrain objectives. Players may also spend momentum to purchase additional cards. The cards themselves may provide die roll modifiers, adjustments to army morale. I almost said enemy morale. Leader replacements, tactical advantages, step losses or step recovery, and additional units introduced into play, among other outcomes. There's also the possibility of the game being extended 1 game turn into night, wherein the British launch a surprise night attack. As a bonus, Volume 9 will include a second scenario, the Battle of Newport. This hypothetical scenario features a second map board depicting the southern half of the island, the city of Newport, and the British defensive works that surrounded it, as well as the American siege lines. The French army is presumed to have stayed on the island to cooperate in a direct assault upon the town. It will make for a fascinating what-if study for the first attempt at cooperation in the war by Franco-American forces. The Battle of Rhode Island is for 2 players, ages 14 and up, plays in 2 or more hours, and I gotta be honest, I didn't snag the MSRP of this. Dummy. And it does carry an MSRP of, I thought it was $59. There we go. I was going to say, how come I forgot to get the MSRP? So $59.99, and this is available now. So, and as I always mention when I talk about GMT Games, their print runs are not huge. So if you have interest in the Battles of the American Revolution series and the Battle of Rhode Island, by all means, grab it while you can, because you never want to chase these down on the secondary market. So Kabuki Kid says Castles of Burgundy was the game by Stefan Feld that she liked the most. I've never played it. I know. It's a pretty popular game, pretty well-known game. I've never played it. All right, so let's move into some role-playing game news because there is a new Lovecraftian bundle of holding that's available. I've got the dope on Cthulhu Invictus. Salve, investigator. This Cthulhu Invictus bundle transports your Call of Cthulhu 7th edition tabletop role-playing game, say that 5 times fast, to ancient times with Cthulhu Invictus, the CFC 7E setting from Goblin Press. In the age of the Antonines, AD 145, the inhuman powers of the Cthulhu mythos plague humanity. Even as the Roman Empire reaches its height, ancient wizards seek ways to cheat death. Explorers stumble on the remnants of alien civilizations. Foul cults practice unholy rites. But there is hope. From the benches of the Senate to the arches of the Colosseum, from Rome's steamy bathhouses to legionary camps in border provinces, some heroes and heroines are willing to give their lives to protect humanity. With torch, sword, and mystic arts, they battle to preserve the empire for one more day. Originally a humble Chaosium monograph, then an official Call of Cthulhu setting, Cthulhu Invictus is now a full product line supporting Call of Cthulhu 7th edition. For just $7.95, you get all 3 titles in the starter collection, including the complete 197-page Cthulhu Invictus setting book for Call of Cthulhu 7th edition, plus 2 fiction anthologies and lots of extra material originally created for the Invictus Kickstarter campaign. If you pay more than the threshold price of $18.97, you will level up and also get the entire bonus collection, with 3 more titles worth an additional $42, including the scenario collections De Horror Cosmico and Fronte Nulla Fidelis, plus Heroes and Heroines of the Shadow War, a big book of pre-generated, ready-to-play investigators from all classes and backgrounds in ancient Rome. Do you want to take note? You will need the free Call of Cthulhu 7th Edition Quick Start Rules or the Call of Cthulhu 7th Edition Keeper's Rulebook from Chaosium Inc., which are not included in this offer, in order to use this Cthulhu Invictus material. These savings run through August 31st, and 10% of your payment after gateway fees will be donated to this Cthulhu Invictus offers pandemic-related charity, Direct Relief. Nice. Very cool. I do remember reading Cthulhu Invictus when it was a monogram. I remember checking that out, and I thought it was very interesting. I thought it was very cool. And I think this is a pretty interesting bundle that is available. And, well, right now, maybe not as I speak, but the threshold price does change. So when you go for like the big, like all in, does change. So when I pulled the news piece, it was $18.97. It might have gone up a few cents, but you're still looking at just about everything that's available in PDF for the current Golden Goblin Press release of Cthulhu Invictus. So pretty nice, pretty cool. Very, very nice. All right, my final news piece, sticking to role-playing games, Ronin Publishing has released the core system, which powers their Song of Ice and Fire role-playing game. I've got dope on Sword Chronicle. a game of war and intrigue. You're no adventurer. You may have shaken blood off your sword after plunging it into an unholy beast, but the real monsters stalk the world's thrones. You may have studied the unspeakable secrets of magic, but affairs of state have secrets that are no less horrifying, for they can turn a nation into a million-limbed juggernaut of war. You belong to a noble house, and its fortunes rise and fall with your actions. You're a lord, a knight, a servant in the shadows, or perhaps a sorcerer sage, bound to a dynasty of rulers. A vassal's honor binds you to obey those above your station, and the responsibilities of privilege make you well aware that your lessers prosper or suffer according to your will, or if you fail, in spite of it. Your people are yours to protect, and the world is yours to conquer. You've committed your house to the Sword Chronicle. Sword Chronicle is a fantasy role-playing game in Green Ronin's Chronicle system, now customized for you to bring in your own worlds of intrigue-laden fantasy. Within this book, you'll find a classless, gritty fantasy role-playing game where words can be as powerful as weapons, and weapons enforce your words. Character creation that gives the heroes specific positions in a noble house of their own design. Rules for the fantasy ancestries of elves, dwarves, and ogres, and frictionless game systems for playing a character of multiple ancestries. Grim, dramatic combat where death is a risk, but profit comes from ransoming your noble enemies. Revise and reorganize intrigue rules for the Chronicle system to give socially oriented characters more power. Mass combat rules to fit sieges and conquest, as well as subtle, powerful magic for the Chronicle system. It also introduces the Shattered Era setting. This 209-page PDF is available right now at DriveThruRPG for $19.95. So I understand a lot of people had been pushing for Green Ronin to release the core system that's used in A Song of Ice and Fire, Game of Thrones role-playing game. And I'm surprised it took them as long as it did, because that system has been out for quite a while. And I think why they probably decided to go ahead and do this is the HBO series is over. Who knows when we'll see the next book, so not too shabby, not too shabby. Artwork, I got to point out, art doesn't look fantastic. So, I mean, some of it's okay, but there is some of the artwork I'm seeing here looks okay. Not necessarily a selling point of this. I got to mention that I really have not seen much from Green Ronin. So I don't know if this is typical of their releases or what. So could be interesting. Like I said, I do realize that a game of Ice and Fire is, I should say, Song of Ice and Fire is pretty popular for Green Ronin. Okay, so that is it for the news tonight. So pretty quick, kind of zip through that rather quickly. So once again, I released my review of Tiny Epic Mechs today, as well as my review of Mariposas. That was yesterday, as well as the Delta Green, The Labyrinth. So Kabuki Kid says that they liked the line art. Some of it looked okay, but there were a couple images that just didn't look all that great. But anyway, so I have upcoming reviews for Tiny Epic Tactics, Folklore of the Haven Isles, which is from Blood Monkey Design. No, it's Monkey Blood. Yeah, it's Monkey Blood Design, isn't it? I think it's Monkey Blood. Glenn Seal's company. Yes, it's Monkey Blood. I don't know. Why do I always want to say Blood Monkey? Blood Monkey. No, it's Monkey Blood Design. So I've got this. We're going to take a peek at the various Mitterzines that are available as well for the Mitterlands, which is also from Monkey Blood. And then handy maps. So I'm going to actually do short videos for these separately. So I'm not going to do them all together. Also got Dungeon Drop, which we have been playing a bit of. So we've got that. Just received Truffle Shuffle from AEG in yesterday's mail. And then I'm hoping to get an opportunity to crack this open this weekend. And it is Carnival of Monsters from Amigo, designed by Richard Garfield. So, and I have heard this is a pretty good game. So that is what is on the horizon. So other thing I did want to mention before I wrap up, I guess it's going to be a kind of short show today. I found out that if someone's watching a YouTube video, right? So let's say, for an example, you're watching this right now. And when you finish watching this, you leave YouTube. That's bad for the channel. It's like, okay, so does YouTube not realize that there are people here who do stream? I thought that's what they want, right? I thought they want streamers. They don't want everybody to be over on Twitch. They would like to see people streaming live here on YouTube. Why do they keep making things so difficult for people who do stuff live? I don't get it. Now, I guess this counts for anything, right? So if you were watching, say you're watching one of the reviews and finish watching the review, or, I get to the end and you're like, and you leave YouTube, that's a knock against the channel. So strangely enough, I am going to ask folks to, as weird as this sounds, when you finish watching a video on the Gaming Gang channel, watch another video. Just start watching another video, not from the Gaming Gang, but anything that's loading up on the side of your screen, recommended videos or something. Pop onto there, watch a minute, and then get out, and then leave YouTube. I want to see if that changes things, because YouTube doesn't seem to really recommend the Gaming Gang videos. I don't see as many recommendations as I should. And I have had people tell me that as well, that they don't see a lot of recommendations for the Gaming Gang videos. And they are subscribed to the Gaming Gang as well. So I'm curious, because there's all these little goofy things about, how YouTube recommends something, or if they share stuff, right? And I guess that's one of them, is that, if people, because the whole thing about YouTube is YouTube wants you hanging out on YouTube all the time. The more time you're on YouTube, the better, because the more ads you're seeing and all that other nonsense. So if people are leaving YouTube from your channel, from your videos, then it's a black mark on your channel. And it's like, yeah, I get it. Okay, so I get that. But when you do live streaming, a lot of people tune in to watch the live stream and then leave YouTube. They're only there for the live stream. So are you going to tell me these channels get black marks because people left their stream after it ends and didn't hang around on YouTube? Because that's what I've been told. Some of this stuff just doesn't make much sense. All right. Anyway, so that is it. Also do want to mention that no show on Thursday. There will not be an episode on Thursday. It is my nephew Cameron's birthday. So we are all getting together to celebrate his birthday on Thursday. Other than that, not a whole lot cooking. If you did not watch last night's show, I did point out there's not going to be an Extra Life charity event this coming weekend. That's not to say we're not going to have one in the future, sometime in the fall. It's we can't get anything put together for it this weekend, which is supposed to be the big Extra Life streaming weekend when people do their marathons and stuff like that. So for one, my best friend Elliot Miller, he has to be someplace on Saturday that he cannot get out of. And I don't know, doing everything remotely. Yeah, I don't know. So, like I said, we're going to try to do something sometime during the fall. We'll do another marathon. And, well, to be honest, since everybody's not doing it all on one day, probably get a few more people tuning in to check it out. All right, that is it for tonight's show. Of course, if you like this video, please give it a quick thumbs up and subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't. And if you do subscribe, ring that little notification bell. It'll let you know when I upload videos such as my upcoming Tiny Epic Tactics review. But it'll also tell you when the Daily Dope streams live right here on YouTube, Monday through Thursday nights. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. Yes. Anyway, those of you who are hanging out, watching live, thank you very much. Always appreciate people taking time out to keep me company while I do the stream. But of course, if you don't have an opportunity to watch live and you're just watching after the fact, maybe you're watching on Memorex, thank you also very much for taking time out to watch. I appreciate anybody who takes some time out to watch any of the videos here on the Gaming Gang channel. All right, everybody enjoy the rest of your Tuesday night / Wednesday morning. I will be back tomorrow. And of course, as I've been closing out all the videos during this pandemic, please do your best to stay safe, be smart. Oh, you're still here. Well, if that's the case, by all means, subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel by clicking right here. And of course, if you want to catch up on past episodes of The Daily Dope, check out this playlist. And if you'd like to see what YouTube's recommending you take a peek at from the channel, just give a click right over here. Of course, I'm Jeff McAleer, and once again, thank you very much for watching.